This is a practical example of what really happens during potty training. Here with me is a 3-month-old Belgian Malinois, and I'm going to show you what really happens during the potty training process. Sometimes you take your dog out and your dog will pee or poo, and other times you take your dog out and the dog will just be distracted by noise, environment, and every other thing happening around him. It is your responsibility as the dog owner to wait for the dog. You have to have lots of patience for you to be able to potty train your dog. Now we came outside and he just peed on the grass. And the next thing for this dog is he's trying to go inside the house. Meanwhile, he's been indoors for a very long time and I know he's going to poo or he's going to want to poo. But he's very distracted and all he wants is just to go inside. So as you can see there, he's struggling, he's backing, he's trying to go back inside. But this is not what I want. I want him to poo. The moment he poo, I'm going to take him inside. And we're still in the process of communicating and making the dog to understand this concept that when he poo or pee, this is when he's going to get access to go in to the house. And the reason I've put up this video is to show you exactly what happens during the potty training process. Some owners or dog handlers get frustrated and they say, oh, I took my dog out and my dog didn't pee, the dog was just playing around, being distracted. It's normal because this dog just rather want to be inside. But if you are sure that the dog has stayed indoors for a very long time and the dog needs to pee or the dog needs to poo, you need to be patient with the dog. They do get distracted. They will try to play with some items around or they would want to run back inside. But you need to be calm and be patient until the dog decides to pee and the dog decides to poo. Now, the good part of this all is once the dog understands what is expected of him or her every single time you go outside, it becomes easier the next time. Now, this particular video, it took about 15 minutes before this puppy eventually pooed. And this is just to show you what happens and how patient you need to be during the potty training process. It's not something that's going to happen immediately you take your dog out. So you need to be patient and calm. So finally, about 15 minutes later, he eventually pooed. And I praised him, I encouraged him, and then that was when we went back inside. So once your dog start pooing or start peeing, you don't want to interrupt the dog by encouraging the dog or getting too excited. You wait until the dog is done, then you praise the dog.
Good boy, Askila. Good boy.
So what about night time, TD? What do you do at night with the dog? Oh, it's a tedious process. When you're raising a puppy, you still have to wake up in the night. 10 p.m. at night, you take the puppy out. 2 a.m. you have to take a puppy out to potty. And then 5 or 6 a.m. again, you still have to take a puppy out to potty. It is a tedious process. But once the dog understands or begins to develop that hope, an expectation that you're definitely going to come to take him or her out, the dog is going to start learning to hold their pee or their poo for much longer time. And this is all part of the process of the potty training. So it's not an easy thing at all. It's something that requires lots of commitment and consistency also in your routine and following up with the process. Now, another problem arises if you are raising 2 puppies at the same time. Sometimes you will take both puppies out at a particular time, and for some reason, one puppy will only pee and the other one might poo and pee, and then you're waiting for the second puppy to poo. This is where you really need to have lots of patience, and sometimes a particular dog might not want to pee or poo at that particular time. So now you have to take both dogs back and then come out again to take the second one out to potty. But what happens if for some reason you don't have the time to come out in the night, or because of your schedule, you can't come out in the night every time you take your dog out? What you need to do is to limit the area where the dog is going to be sleeping, because naturally no dog will pee or poo where they sleep or where they eat. So if the area is small enough just for the dog to be able to sleep, the dog will always bark and notify you each time they feel pressed. Now this is when it becomes an alarm, and you really need to pay attention for when your dog starts whining or barking because they need to go out. And that way it helps you to easily and quickly potty train that dog, especially during night
Good boy,
hours.
I see that. Good boy. Good boy.